Hey, I threw out my back in the most embarrassing way. I won't talk about that.
That wasn't embarrassing.
But as I was sitting here laid up for most of the day, I was looking at my fingers and I did get to play guitar a little bit. And I was thinking about my fingers and how, they interact with the guitar. And so anyone who's played guitar for a little while has they know that you get calluses on your finger. So if you're new at playing guitar, you might not have them. Your fingers might be soft. So how do you get these calluses? Why are they important? Why would you want them? Are they even beneficial? So first off, let me try to get them in view here. I don't know if you could see these, but I have these little spots. Let's see if you can see this finger. I don't know if you can really see it. Uh, this finger here, you can see this kind of white shiny spot right there. That's a callus. That's a callus that will not go away. I could spend a week without playing guitar, and that indent is going to stay there. Um, Same on this finger and the pinky finger. Um, so the thing about calluses is you want them on all your fingers. You don't just want them on, two or three fingers, right? Because if they're only on two fingers, and I'm betting a lot of the punk people out there, I bet you I know which two fingers they are. They're either your index finger and your ring finger, or they're your index finger and your pinky finger, because all you do all day is play power chords that use those fingers. Um, and that's cool if that's the style you play. But if you want to be more versatile and be able to play lead guitar and things like that, um, you're going to have to end up strengthening um, the meat on the other fingers. So I have calluses on every last finger of mine, except for my thumb, because my thumb doesn't get used. My thumb lays on the back of the guitar neck, right? And so, how do we get calluses? Um, this has a lot to do with the gauge of the strings that you use. So, the lighter the gauge string, the harder it is to press down. The more meat there is on the string, right? The larger the gauge, the wider the string, and so when you press down, there's more area. There's more friction, right? And so as you slide across and you do a lot of legato type stuff, you end up with these hard spots on your fingers. And at first, they hurt and they get really irritated. And after a while, they're not irritated anymore. They just kind of feel numb. They feel like almost like scabs, almost like kind of scars on your fingers that are just kind of there. And do not be alarmed. That's totally normal, and that's something you want. In fact, what you should worry when those things start to fade away, when they start to heal, and and your calluses start to get soft again. That's when you need to worry. That means you haven't practiced enough in a while, and the next time you go to play guitar, it'll be harder. The best way to build up calluses that I know of is get an acoustic guitar. Play an acoustic guitar for as long as you can, because acoustic guitar strings, even if you get the very lightest gauge, they are by far heavier than electric guitar strings. So playing an acoustic, and acoustic guitars by their nature also are just more difficult to play, right? The fingerings are harder. Just doing anything on acoustic is harder than doing it on an electric. So if you could practice on an acoustic and then move on to an electric, you'll build up, that strength in your fingers. And when you press down with your fingers on the frets, it won't hurt as much after you built up those calluses. And then once you've done it on the acoustic, you move to the electric, and it's a whole new world. You feel like, oh my god, this is way too easy to play. That's what you're looking for. Um, so, just like my video about proper footwear for guitarists, here's or here's the manicures for guitarists, right? Here's the idea: keep your fingernails short and keep your calluses hard. And you do this by playing every day and watching how long your fingernails grow. Um, that is on your fretting hand. On your picking hand, if you're into fingerstyle stuff, then maybe you want to grow out your fingernails. Makes sense. Some people do that. I'm not a fingerstyle player, so I don't let my the nails on my picking hand grow out. I keep them short the same way I do my fretting hand. Um, but if you're a fingerstyle player, then if you grow out those nails a little bit, and I'm not talking about coke nails, I'm just talking about, just a little bit longer than normal, then that will actually help you in a couple of ways. It helps you grab onto the strings as if you had um, kind of like as Edward Scissorhands style, right? You have like a pick on every single finger, and it helps you do that. And it also helps you if you don't happen to have a pick, you can just strum the guitar with your fingernails. So, what else can I say about fingernails? Not much. So, summary: how do you get calluses? Use heavier gauge strings. Do it on an acoustic. Um, keep your fingernails short and practice a lot. My practice schedule is minimum 15 minutes a day, which does not sound like a lot, but more often than not, that 15 minutes is just a placeholder, like a to-do list. Like, just make sure you practice. And I make sure I do it for at least 15 minutes, but then I get so into it that it ends up being like 2-3 hours. The other thing that I want to stress to you is let's see. Yes, string gauge. You can also switch string gauge on your electric. So if you get used to the string gauges on your acoustic and you really like it and you want to kind of have that same one on, on your electric, you can do that. I'm actually using custom light strings on my acoustics right now. So on my acoustics, I'm using 11 to 53s or 11 to 52s or 12 to 53s on my acoustics. And on all my electrics, I'm using 9s, which are the lightest gauge you could possibly get. And that is how I have gotten myself some good old, some good calluses. And these calluses go almost down to the bone. The deeper the callus, the better it is, the less sensitive your fingers will be, and the less it'll hurt when you practice and play. So keep playing and mutilate your fingers so that you can play guitar really good. Goodbye.